Diddy has become the talk of the town once again, and this time it's about his love interest. The game has exposed Diddy and his romantic advances towards the young rappers, and now people think that Diddy might actually be gay. The game has said some pretty shady things that Diddy fans are finding hard to digest, so let's get into it and find out what the fuss is all about.
I started kicking it with Diddy, right? I ran around with Diddy for 2 years, damn near. And this Diddy, we never went to the studio one time.
The game has tried to expose Hollywood elites several times and has even hinted that most men in the rap industry are gay or at least bi. But these were all subtle hints and nods, as the game didn't dare take anyone's name before. But in a recent interview, the game revealed how Diddy allegedly bought him so many gifts one time that he got freaked out, and the gift giving continued for 2 years. Fans are pointing out, why would a grown man offer so many gifts to a young guy like the game? People are taking this statement from the game as evidence that Diddy was actually interested in him and tried to buy him off with expensive gifts. According to several news reports, the game actually felt like he was being pressured to hang out with Diddy and even sleep with him. People around him kept telling the game that his career would skyrocket if he reciprocated Diddy's advances. But the game wasn't into Diddy, and that's probably why Diddy left him alone after trying for 2 long years. Besides, rumors about Diddy being on the down low have been around for decades. So many celebrities have even hinted at him still being in the closet, including Wendy Williams. Wendy spilled the tea on a radio show in 1998, and she reportedly said that there was no way Diddy was straight. Wendy believed that he was either gay or bi, but he was far from straight. It was later reported by several radio shows that Wendy was fired from her show because of Diddy's influence.
There was a radio personality once upon a time. Her name was Wendy Williams, and she was practically burned at the stake for talking about such.
And the game isn't the only rapper Diddy tried to seduce with expensive gifts. According to media reports, he also offered to take 50 cents to go shopping so many times. The young rapper couldn't refuse out of courtesy, but he did find it very peculiar and was even uncomfortable for the most part. And some people think that Diddy has tried his flirting tactics on many men in the industry.
So when we gonna get the chance to, to kick it, like we can just hang out? We gotta kick it.
This is
Paul.
Okay.
You're telling me we gotta kick it? He's like, yo, why don't we go shopping or something? I mean, I pay for it. And I was like, what the this just say?
Netizens are also praising the game for finally talking about this darker side of the music industry where men pretend to be straight but are all in the down low. The typical fuckboy image of most rappers is just a cover to hide their real identity. When the game was asked about rappers being in the closet back in 2011, he answered that he knows many of them who are still closeted and are still living a double life. According to the game, there's nothing wrong with being gay, but what really boils his blood is that these men constantly lie to the woman they are with. They also sleep around with other men and then with women as well, which could spread a lot of STDs and could have deadly consequences. So these rappers are putting everyone's life at risk just to save face.
So that in the closet is real scary, you know what I'm saying? So we got to get into the seriousness of it, and it's just not fair to, other people. And then that spreads because that girl that you might be fooling might leave you and go find another dude who ain't gay, give him the disease, and he go cheats on her.
Once this interview was aired, all sorts of crazy speculations started swirling around, saying that this is how Usher got an STD and he transmitted it to a woman back in 2017. Usher has always been close to Diddy and has even spent 2 years with the legendary rapper in his early career. So people think that Usher got STD from Diddy, and even some medical reports got leaked that clearly said that Usher got STD back in 2009 and he has infected multiple partners since. The woman allegedly filed a lawsuit against Usher and tried to sue him as well for not telling her the truth. But Usher settled the suit, giving the woman $1.1 million and even paying for all her expenses. Ever since the game has talked about rappers still being in the closet, people are pointing fingers at Diddy as he's one of the most famous womanizers in the rap world. Netizens are now saying that he might be overcompensating with his multiple affairs and children. In reality, people think that Diddy has always been gay and just doesn't want to come out because he wants to maintain his reputation as a fuckboy in the industry. It's also said that that Diddy has used several women to cover his tracks, and he decided to have so many children so no one could ever question if he's straight or gay. And the worst part is almost everyone in the industry knows about it because Diddy has been known to run a very exclusive club. In this club, entry was only allowed to the Hollywood and political A-listers and some of the richest men in the world. Interestingly, it was an all-men club, and according to reports, all sorts of shady and explicit things went down at the secret club. People think that hosting these exclusive parties with men was another way for Diddy to get to know more people with similar interests. He reportedly hung out with Hollywood elites and big names to make sure that his affairs always remained a secret. Shockingly, even Diddy's wife knew about his extracurriculars. A few years ago, Diddy's driver Gene revealed in an interview that when the rapper was still married to Kim Porter, he allegedly used to go out with both men and women.
He was with every chick, every dude, whoever he wanted to be with, you know, when Kim was alive.
And what surprised the fans was that Kim knew all along that Diddy was cheating on her. The driver also talked about Kim being devastated because of Diddy's cheating scandals, and she was even writing a book in which there were complete chapters dedicated to Diddy's affair with men. G also hinted that Diddy was probably glad that Kim lost her life before publishing this book, or he would have become the talk of the town in the worst way possible. If we look back at the Game's interview, he has also hinted that a very well-known man in the industry is on the down low, and his wife knew about it too. The Game also implied that the rapper didn't want anyone else to know about it, so he did everything he could to keep his romantic interest a secret. In another interview, the Game talked about how he got really close to Diddy in the early days of his career, and upon hearing this, people have started believing that Diddy tried to date the Game and take him shopping like Usher. Also, when the Game started his career in the early 2000s, he made a mixtape and Diddy also got to see it. The Game was thinking that Diddy might offer him a contract because the Game was the most anticipated new rapper and Diddy always gave a chance to new rappers. However, Diddy never signed the Game, and people think it was because the Game didn't accept Diddy's romantic advances. It was later revealed that Diddy initially started talking to the Game about signing him in an album, but then he started saying the Game gives him expensive watches. He was also hanging out with Diddy, but he never reciprocated the same affection, and that's probably why Diddy never officially signed him. However, back in 2020, the elder brother of the Game shared a very cryptic photo of the Game and Diddy hugging each other. After this, netizens think that the Game didn't really reject Diddy, and in fact, he had an affair with Diddy, and that's how he landed his first big contract. But the Game's brother could also be bluffing because the two had a pretty ugly falling out, and he might be trying to sabotage the Game's reputation, although some fans think that he might be onto something considering Diddy's history. It's also raising a lot of eyebrows as to why exactly was the Game in contact with Diddy even after knowing his intentions, and Diddy continued sending him gifts, but the Game was still spotted with him on several occasions. Diddy even took the young rapper on trips and bought him some pretty expensive things, but the Game didn't even question his intentions. This scenario sounds too good to be true. Fans are saying that they already knew there was something going on because Diddy wasn't making any music with the Game and they were still spotted together all the time. So people are now waiting for Diddy to come out of a closet, but that seems very unlikely as of now. So what are your thoughts about Diddy being gay? Tell us in the comments. Also, make sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon to get the latest updates. We'll see you in the next video. Till then, take care and adios from our side.